Michael, Woolfolk has been tracking these rising tensions and how it is affecting the Forex markets, and he's the senior currency strategist at Bank of New York Mellon, joining us from his offices in downtown Manhattan. Michael, great to see you again.
Good morning.
And I know you've been studying and watching with interest what's been going on between the U.S. and China. The Chinese say that the U.S. is just practicing this sort of form of protectionism, and the U.S., of course, saying that no, the Chinese are artificially propping up their economy with this low exchange rate. So who is right in all of this, in your view?
Well, certainly China is supporting a non-market rate between their currency and the U.S. dollar. They've admitted that at some point they will have to move towards a flexible exchange rate. And at this stage right now, it is likely to move later rather than sooner.
Why do you say later rather than sooner?
Well, the Chinese have been in a position of being able to really call the shots in terms of negotiations between the U.S. and China. Right now, the U.S. has positioned itself right now to make improvements in terms of U.S. exports. The U.S. government wishes to double exports globally within the next 5 years. The only way that happens is if exports increase at least in part to China. One way they can do that is by allowing China to maintain this artificial currency rate. So I see that it's a win-win situation there. Currently, forcing China's hand through our legislature is probably not the way to go.
Well, could it backfire on them?
It could certainly backfire on them. Let's say it would slow the process of the two parties coming together. Schumer and others within the U.S. legislature really appear to feel that there's a great job gains to be had in the manufacturing sector. This is a single greatest step that we can take in terms of forcing China to revalue their currency. First of all, we can't force China to do that just yet.
Right.
Secondly, really, because of globalization, it is the unintended consequence of globalization to shift manufacturing jobs away from countries such as the U.S., the U.K., Germany, and Japan that have very high costly labor to other parts of the world in emerging markets in China that have considerably lower costs for labor.
Well, how much? I mean, you said before that it is, the exchange rate does not reflect true fundamentals. I mean, how undervalued is the yuan right now?
Yeah, the yuan is currently undervalued on a purchase power parity basis, where we take into consideration the differential in inflation rates over very long periods of time. It's undervalued by anywhere from about 15 to 30%, depending upon the data that you use. So all parties agree on the purchase power parity view of this. However, China suggests that this is not going to have any appreciable impact on the trade imbalances between our two countries, and that's probably also correct.
But it could have an impact, though, if they appreciate it on their own businesses, right? I mean, isn't there some calculation between how much the yuan rises to how much profit that takes away from their companies?
Yeah, this is where things become very complicated. The Chinese Commerce Ministry has done already some stress tests of what would happen if they began to engage in currency appreciation, and they found that for every 1% appreciation in their currency against the U.S. dollar, it will erode their profit margin in those areas, particularly goods manufacturing. And the problem with those industries is they're only running a profit margin of 3 to 5%. So clearly, very inefficient sectors in China that need to be revamped, and that can only happen over long periods of time.
Michael Woolfolk, good to talk with you. Nice to see you. Michael Woolfolk of Bank of New York Mellon.